or for harmonization to say let's wait for a year before the election because it will help us to get vote, then we're not being fair to the civil servant. So what I'm saying, there is no time better than now with 1.2 billion projected budget, draft budget before us to address the issue because they are fasting budget. I mean, things have increased. The budget lines of ministries, of agencies, the legislature, other areas have increased. So, but you know, the trust in it, which I know will be one of your questions, normally when the Liberian people take the budget, even we had $10 billion budget, if the legislature had $10 million there, the focus will go on that one. So the budget has always been about what's there for the legislature. So my thing is, for the first time, and I'm on record to say our salaries are small. I've said that. But I'm seeing now for the first time, if it means we should reduce our salaries for civil servants to have them restored from pre-harmonization, let's do it. But if we pass a $1.2 billion budget and don't address the bread and butter issue, Julius, then we've done nothing. And I think it will be a disservice. And I can assure you that if that budget is passed at 1.2 billion or even 1 billion mark without returning to pre-harmonization, I will vote against the budget. I may not have all of the votes required, but I will vote against the budget.
Now, is it only civil servants that you're talking about? Are you not including you, the lawmakers, the ministers, who's paying harmonized to?
I'm not particular about members of the legislature, but I'm also particular about our staffers.
Okay.
Now, for example, I'm one of those legislators that always believe that our staff are unpaid, grossly unpaid. My chief of staff in the office of a senator, if he makes less than $1,000, that position should be almost position of an assistant minister, if not deputy. So I think our staff is grossly unpaid. So those are things we should look at. Now,
and you people are the determinants of the budget.
So
why are your people that underpaid?
Unlike the executive that have one person with executive power, the other two branches of government is based on numbers. You can have the chief justice of the country, he alone cannot rule on case. He could have one person, he could be the only person to dissent, and the others could go on the other side. In the legislature, it's all about numbers. So even one man stood on top of the table and shouted tomorrow morning, and you don't have the numbers, you can't muster the numbers to join you, you've done nothing.
But it is about the welfare of your own staff, so it should not be an issue.
Fully agree with you. Some of us have made a representation. I know of a lot of senators that have made a representation, but maybe the numbers have not reached up to 16, which would constitute simple majority. That is why
if I brought all of the 30 senators here, all of them would say the same thing you say about the staff welfare.
Like I just said to you,
how come you all can individually say these things? So when you go back to your offices, then you can say numbers.
You know, in Liberia we say pregnancy don't go behind, come in front, right? So I'm saying to you that if these basic things are not addressed in the budget, I will not vote in favor of the budget. So I've given a caveat that if this doesn't happen, the day voting for the budget, just thank God I see a lot of journalists here. I think they were all sent there by the civil. I've never been in your studio with this many journalists covering me. So maybe the civil servants send them to cover the news. But you know, I can say to you today, so if you call just found 16. If you found 16 senators that will tell you if we don't return to pre-harmonization or we don't increase the salary of our legislative staffers to include the personal and civil servant or central administration, I will not vote for the budget, then it's bingo. But I can tell you sitting in your studio today that if we don't address the issue of pre-harmonization, and somebody might say it's politics. Yes, I'm a politician. I'm not a pastor. If I were a pastor, I'll be reading from the Bible. Or if I was a bishop or imam, I'll be reading from the Quran. I'm a politician, so I speak politics. But this politics is about addressing the basic needs of our people, especially when the president himself, I didn't say a minister or representative, the president said he acknowledged the fact that the country is hard, prices of basic commodities are high, and he constituted a presidential committee to review prices. And then we hit $1.2 billion. If you live home and your father's salary is $100 and he got an increase of another $50 in his salary, your lifestyle will change. It should be reflected in your lifestyle. All right. If you live home, you work at OKFM. I see you on Facebook most of the time with your daughter or your son going to school, see you like a father depressing. If we were to appoint you today as Minister of Information, their children expect their lifestyle to change. Either their school will change or they will get a little more clothes than they have now. They eat 4 million a day. Then so if you have a budget that has come from 800 million to 1.2 billion, and then they say, well, sir, don't have an impact. I don't think. I listened to the Minister of Finance.
Yeah, he said they will do top ups for engineers.
Yeah. So when we begin to do that, then it doesn't sound well for the budget. Because if we're doing top up for engineer, which is good, then let's talk about the police. Let's talk about the military. Then let's talk about the nurses. Then let's talk about the teachers. But most interestingly, let's talk about the people who have to sweep our offices for us to sit there. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the drivers who have to drive the vehicles to take us to work. What do we do about them? That's why let it be holistic.